Second promise, tying again with the family. This is what the second promise of the 12 promises of the Sacred Heart of Jesus Christ. Something that I know for our parishes, for our people of God, they will want this most desperately. I will give peace in their families and will unite families that are divided. I will give peace in their families and will unite families that are divided. How many families do we know so desperately want that? Sometimes even so desperately need it. The enthronement and devotion to the Sacred Heart. It fosters and builds up the real presence of our Lord Jesus Christ in our homes. It's showing that, hey, Jesus Christ, He's a part of this family. He's not that guy that we just hear something about on Sunday Mass for 1 hour. He's a part of our lives, more than just that one day a week. A great quote from Pope Francis on the left. The heart of Jesus is the ultimate symbol of God's mercy. This is a unique, special, and also great way for us to build up Catholics, to become faithful Catholics, or even to become more fervent Catholics. The enthronement helps Catholics to realize that this image is important, that Jesus is important, and as a family, we are placing Him in the center of our lives. The enthronement makes a special place in the home or at the church where the people in the house can gather as a family to pray. This is an example of one. It says to each person, this spot is set aside for us to pray. It creates a mini chapel, if you will, in one's home. The family can gather together daily, even if it is only for 5 minutes. They can still gather together daily to pray in front of the Sacred Heart image. Remember that old saying, family that prays together stays together. They may not be able to stand each other, but they still love each other. So the connection with the Year of Mercy here. It's part of the endeavor of why we're doing this now here in our diocese. So how is there a connection? With the Sacred Heart of Jesus, it is also the same merciful heart of Jesus Christ. It's not like divine mercy and Sacred Heart are somehow competing. That's not the case. Both are related because devotion to divine mercy and the Sacred Heart are not in contradiction, since all of these stem from and are related to the same heart of Jesus Christ. So even though the Sacred Heart is there, by all means, pray Divine Mercy chaplets. If the Divine Mercy image is there, by all means, pray the act of consecration to the Sacred Heart, or the litany. So overall, why have the enthronement done? It will help your parishioners to grow in holiness, help your parishioners with their salvation, and it will help yourself as a priest in growing and becoming a holier priest. And I will touch on that last point later. The enthronement can help the families to pray for their petitions, their loved ones, a rosary, a Divine Mercy chaplet, and also reparation, whether from their own sins or those of others that they wish to pray for. It can also bring about possible miracles and reconciliation for the family, just as the second promise to the Sacred Heart of Jesus Christ promises. In my reading that I have done for this, when I was asked to take on this endeavor, it really is quite amazing what can come about if this devotion to the Sacred Heart and the enthronement is taken seriously by the families. I have read many stories now of families who, they were just in such a desperate state. You know, they raised their kids Catholic, they went to Catholic schools all the way through high school, maybe even college, and then they went off, and some became Protestant, or some flat out stopped going to church altogether. And so the parents, just not understanding, the popular question, what did we do wrong? Beautiful, successful stories where after a priest advised them, get your heart, your home enthroned to the Sacred Heart of Jesus Christ, and take it seriously. Take it seriously, living out this devotion, the act of consecration, the litany to the Sacred Heart, making reparation, doing holy hours when you can. And my goodness, their children, those that were Protestant, they came back and became Catholic. Those that stopped going to church, they started coming back to church. They came back to the Catholic Church. And they actually started going to church as a family again. All stemming from that second promise that I will unite families that have been divided. Living out